Warm welcome. This is the 6th of February 2025. As I'm speaking, the moon is in the sign of Gemini, in the air sign of Gemini, which gives way for intelligence, thinking, new perspective in the sense of movement. The moon and Jupiter are being part of a grand trine in between. See this here, Lilith in the sign of Libra, then we have the moon, Jupiter in the sign of Gemini, and of course the stellium of Aquarius forces up there, the sun, the pretty close to the sun being Mercury and Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. Now the wind goes wherever it wants, and when we have a grand air trine, it's good to go with the air, to implement some thinking, some new, let fresh air in the stocked air of the room of your own thinking. Thinking without prayer is nothing, because it dries out. We can always come to the end of thinking, but we also need a connection to the forces above. This earth trine includes Lilith, and Lilith is always a way to go that is not the official way. But having said that, looking at the official ways, they might not be always the right ones. So Lilith is to be needed even in everyday's calculations and habits, whatever you do, because this world turned out to be not 100% friendly to anybody, and we got to make a living and got to get through somehow. So think about doing things that are not necessarily things that are, how shall I put that? Better I don't put it at all. You might know what Lilith is. Lilith is not all bad, but Lilith is a different moral perspective from the view of old times, and it might be a changing perspective also for future times. Having said that, there's another most important aspect today, which is the trine in between Saturn and Mars in the sign of Cancer. Now Mars is still retrograde until the 24th of February. The trine will come again when Mars is in direct motion at the 4th of April. We're going to have another trine in between Saturn and Mars. And usually the trine in between Saturn and Mars is constructive. But Saturn in the sign of Pisces was and is all dissolving structures. Look at the Gaza Strip, structures dissolved. Now Mars is crawling retrograde into the sign of Cancer, and somebody pops up speaking of new beautiful homes and workplaces for everyone, paradise future in the Gaza Strip. This is all the trine in between Saturn and Mars, and as this is a water trine and things are flowing, probably it's not going to last very long, especially it's not a real foundation or groundation for what might be stable in this region. But however, it's a surprise, and it's an air movement in general politics. Now, how can you use those aspects today privately? What is the aim that one could go for privately? It's mainly the idea of the air trine getting fresh air in your own principles, in your own overviews, in your own private constructions. Whatever you do, there's some heavy wind to blow coming into that side. If you keep up with good changes by yourself, it's like that. Everything that gets stuck, that gets You know, an old tree is not bending a bench. You know, an old tree is a hard wood thing, and anything that is young and is flexible has greater chances to push into the future. So this air thing is about flexibility, you know, and we are here to question us all in the sense, because on this here journey on this flagship planet, you know, we need to catch up with the development of things, because things just never stay the way that they are, you know. There's also one hopeful thought in this, because good and bad do their calculations, and the outcomes are always different from what was the calculation in the first time. There is hope in that too. So let's hope for that. Thank you very much for listening today. This is Markus Termin speaking at the 6th of February 2025. Moon is in the Jupiter sign. That always means emotions bigger than life, you know, desperation bigger than life, but happiness bigger than life too. Keep the balance. This will be the right thing as always. Keep the balance in the middle. In case you want to catch up for a reading, this is the mail address to use. It's not too expensive. I give you the necessary informations back, and I'll be happy if you get the idea of having a contact and a consultation. Markus Termin at the 6th of February 2025.